This is the second episode of the tutorial series on how to make a file converter in C++. Last time we implemented the basics of the main.cpp file, and today we're going to make the image converter file that will allow the user to convert images to any format that they desire. So let's get started. So to start this, we are going inside of the classes file. I'm choosing this method because we could just write the code inside the main.cpp file, the function, but then we would overcomplicate the main file, and it would be way more difficult to change it later. So by dividing the code in smaller sections, we are able to change it whenever we want to. So C++ offers this opportunity, and inside the classes folder, we are going to create a new file. Now let's call it image underscore converter.cpp. What we want to include inside this folder is the library IOStream, and then include string because maybe we will need them. And also include file system. So include file system. This library will help us to configure the folders inside our system. So that's why it is called file system. It will allow us to check the input file folder and get the image from there, and also put the new image inside the output file. So for file configuration. Now we're also going to use, when we include file system, to use its function, we would normally need to write std file system. But we do not want to type this every time. So instead we are going to say namespace and we are going to name this namespace fs for file system will equal this. So we don't need to write all of this, just fs. Now the next library that we need to include is one that is really important, and it is called OpenCV. So include OpenCV 2 slash OpenCV.hpp. So this is the library. But to use this, you firstly need to have it installed in your system. In Linux, we open the terminal and run the command sudo apt-get install lib opencv-dev. And we run this, type the password. Okay. And now it is going to install this. Now for me it didn't take much time because I've already installed it, but it might take up to 5 minutes or longer. Now if you are on Mac OS, this is the command you need to use. Brew install OpenCV and then run it. And it is going to install your OpenCV. And in Windows you need to go in this link, opencv.org and releases. This is the official website of OpenCV, and download it for Windows. and add this to your Windows path. So let's continue with the code. Now, we need inside of the image underscore converter.cpp, we create a void image function, where we are going to write the needed code to convert images. And these are the 6 simplified steps I have come up with. So the step 1 is to ask for the input of a image file name, and we will not need the path because we will already prepare the program to always check inside the input underscore file. And the step 2 is to check if the input file exists. So after the file name is provided, the program will check if the file exists inside the input underscore file. So step 3, we are going to read the input image using OpenCV. OpenCV is the library we just installed. So it offers the opportunity to read images, and then we can modify them however we want. So step 4 is to ask for the output format, what output the user wants to convert their image. And then step 5 is, of course, to convert the image to the desired format using the OpenCV. And finally, we are going to save the converted image. So let's get started. So the first step is to ask the user for an input of their file name. So let's get started with a std string and input file name. Now std cout, and we are going to request the name of the file. So enter the input image file name, and we are going to request it without path but with extension. And then, all right. Now we are going to std cin and input file name. So firstly, we get the file name from the user. Now, a step in between the step 1 and step 2 is to construct a full path to the input file path. So we need to prepare the program to have a variable that is going to direct here. So let's do this. std string and input folder path. And this is going to equal to input underscore file and slash. So the folder is named input underscore file, and this is the input folder path. Now we are also going to need a std string and input file path. Now this is going to equal to the input folder path. So let's copy this. Plus input file name, which is this here. File name. So the whole the file path which is inside the input file, will be the name of the folder and the name of the file. So now we are ready to go to the step 2 to check if the input file exists. To do that, we are going to start with the if function and use the file system function fs exists. If exists, and we want to check if the input file path exists. Then we want to do something, but we want to check if it does not exist. So we just need to add this in the beginning and start with, so if the input file path does not exist, then we are going to std cout or cr for error the input file, the input image file does not exist inside the directory. So now we are checking if it does not exist. Now, if it exists, the code is just going to skip this part and is just going to go directly in the step 3, reading the image using OpenCV. So to do this, we simply are going to use the OpenCV function, which starts with cv and then met, and we are going to call that an image, and it is going to equal to cv im read, and then input file path, and then cv em read underscore unchanged. Now we are going to check if, so this function, we are declaring this image, which is what OpenCV will read from the image. Now let's say if there is an error. So if OpenCV cannot read the image or if the image is empty, then we are going to run if image dot empty. Now if the image is empty, then we are going to std error unable to load the input image. Let's start it with a capital U. The input image, and let's std and line. So after reading the image, if it is empty, then we are going to see out the error that the program was unable to load the input image. So now we are ready to go to step 4. Ask for the output format. So now we need to ask the user what format they want to convert this image that we have successfully read. Print, and we are going to call this format. Okay, now. Alright. And std cout, enter the image format to convert to, and then we are going to say which ones we want, PNG or JPEG or web photo. Okay, no, web photo. Let's do those here. And now let's see in SVD, see in the format. So now we are asking the user for the format, getting it, and then we are ready to go to the fifth step. But firstly, we will do something else. So before we need to go to the next step, we need to convert the format to uppercase. So you remember last time we needed to convert the file type to lowercase, so we could check if inside the if functions. Well, it's the same situation here, but we need to convert it to uppercase for the for checking. So let's do for now auto pointer here, C, and format. So for every character, format, and then C will equal to upper C. So now we have converted the format. It doesn't matter how they have written it, we are always converting it to uppercase. So now we are going to check if the format is what we needed it to be. So if the user has inputted any format other than these three, then we are going to simply say that the format is not supported. So let's start with if. So format does not equal PNG, and format does not equal JPEG, and format does not equal web picture. Then we need to see out an error. So std cr and invalid format. And let's say what supported format are. So supported format or PNG, JPEG, and web picture. So let's end the sentence. Actually, let's add a STD and line. Now, before we start converting the image, we need to take the original image name and prepare it so it can be given to the new image. So to do that, we simply create a size underscore t. I'm going to call this extension index. And this is going to equal to input file name. Let me get this input file name dot find underscore last underscore off, and then and std string original name will equal to input file name dot subtract, and then we're going to start from 0 and then extension index. Wherever the index starts, we do not want the name. What we are simply doing is the extension index is the part with a dot and then PNG or JPEG. So whatever we have inputted. So if the image is, for example, image.png, the extension index is going to be .png, so not the image. The image part is removed. Now, we create now the string, which is the original name, which was image, but we want to be the input file name, but by subtracting and only keeping it from the index 0 to the index of the extension index. So image here. So it is going to start from the index 0 to the index of the when the extension index starts. So when this starts, we will subtract it and it goes, and we only keep the original name, which is image. Now we are ready to go to step 5 and convert the image to the desired format using OpenCV. To do that, we're going to start by using std string output format, and also we need to declare an std string and output extension. So let's start a if-else function. If format, which the user has inputted in the step 4. Now, if this format is equal to PNG, then we are going to say that output format had output extension. We don't need this part. So this is going to equal to PNG, and this is going to equal to .png. Now we need to do the same thing for the other. So here, else if format is JPEG, the format is JPEG, and the output expansion is JPG. Now let's do the exact same thing for the web photo. So if it's WebP, the output format is WebP, and the extension is like this. Now we need to declare a new string, std string, and this is going to be the output path, so where we are going to save it, and this is going to equal to output underscore file underscore file, the name of the folder. So if you have named it something else, put it in here, plus the original name of the file, and also the output extension from one of these. Now we are going to use a OpenCV function. So cv im read, and we need the output path, so that's where it is going to save it, and the image which we created up here, this is the one that is going to be converted. And let's make a cv im write underscore jpeg underscore quality. And so this is all part of the conversion. Now the last part, because while converting it is going to be saved at the same time, we need to see out that the image conversion to, and let's go to the output format is completed. And it is saved as docs, and here we are going to see out the path, so output path, and let's std and done. So this is a simple program that will convert files in any format. So let's check what this does. The first step is ask for the input, the image file name, and getting it. After that, it will start with the input folder path, which will always be this, and then the input file path will be the folder path plus the file name. Then it is going to check if the file, if the image exists inside the file path. So if this file path exists, then the image exists inside the folder. Then we create the image variable through this cv met function in OpenCV, and we create the new image. Wait, this should be a cv. Oh, cv, okay. So cv mread, we start loading the image. Now, if the image is not loaded correctly or if it is empty, then this is going to prompt. Now we are going to ask for the new format, and then we are going to convert it to upper so we can check if the user has put it any other format that we do not support. We need to prompt this part, and then we separate. We get the extension index, so the part where the extension starts, so we can get the original name by subtracting the input file name, so the name that the user has inputted, and subtracting from 0 to the part where the extension index starts. And then we start converting the image. So firstly, we start with the output format and extension. So if it equals PNG, it's going to be PNG and .png and so on for the other formats. And then we declare the string output path where we are going to save it. So it's inside output file plus the original name and the output extension that we get from here. And then SDDC out image conversion to also, yes, we convert it here. And then it say that, hey, the image was converted successfully and it's inside the output path. So let's try it out. Okay, so now, we are able to build this is by using the G++ command -o image underscore converter image underscore converter dot cpp. Actually, we need to add classes and then std equals C++ 17 and package config cflags libs and OpenCV 4. We got an error. So this problem comes before because here we do not need to do the im read because we are creating an image. Instead, we use im write. So let's use the command again. And now it should, okay, it works successfully, and as we see, an image converter executable was created. So let's run it. Image underscore converter. So enter the input image file name without path but with extension, and the name is image.webpicture. So image.webp. So what format I want to be ng, and now it says that the image conversion completed and saved as output file image.png. And if we go to output, here we have the image.png that this was converted. Let's run it again, but this time I want to convert it to JPEG. So image.webp, and I want it to JPEG, and it has converted it successfully. So as you see, I think, so the original had no background. In PNG it has no background, but in JPG it gets background, black background. Anyway, So now we need to build a header file, so I can use this in the main function. Now, the way we can build a header file is that it is going to be named the same as the CPP file, but it is going to have the .h extension. And as you see, the header file starts with in if and define image converter age, define, and then we include all the libraries that are needed in our CPP file. I also have included a namespace, and we just declare the void image. We don't write any code and define. Now we need to include this in our CPP file. So include image converter .h, and let's also change this in the main function from CPP to h. And now let's run the program. The program that we can use now, the command we can use is g++ main.cpp. We type classes image converter.cpp, so it includes that and all the other libraries that are needed. So we built a new main app. It is built successfully. Now let's run it. What file do you want to convert image? Now it goes and runs the image. So we don't have it just printing that the image was converted, but we type image inside of this, so it runs this function and continues with the steps. So let's see, enter the input file name without path but with extension. Let's delete this so we can convert it again. So image.webp, and I want to convert it to JPEG. So as we see, it was converted. And now, do you want to convert another file? And let's check yes, because now we are back in the main.cpp. What do you want to convert? And if I go to video, it is just going to say that the video was converted because we have yet to write the function for the video and the audio. Do you want to convert another file? No. So yeah, guys, this was the second episode of the series where we learned how to make an image converter. In the next series, we are going to learn how to make a video and a audio converter. So stay updated. Also, if you enjoyed this video and if it was helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to support the channel, and also comment your ideas and thoughts. Till next time, see ya.